Alright guys, it's turned out nice again. Hey, how's it going? You alright? Sorry I'm a little bit late to the party today, but I've been out and about. You know, I went out for a coffee earlier on this morning and sent out my new email to everybody that signed up for that. It's free. It's completely free. I'm not trying to sell you anything or out like that. That's how Cop Talk started back in the 90s actually. And but then I thought people don't really do email anymore, do they? That's what I thought. Do you know what I mean? I thought people were just into social media and apps and things like that. But it turns out people do like reading. It's not me, I just like looking at pictures, mucky pictures as well, to be honest with you. How do I stop this? Anyway, so if you want to subscribe to the email thing that I'm doing, I will put the link in the video description. It's probably not there right now when you're watching it, but there's a video I did 2 or 3 back that is quite obvious by the title of the video. That's how you can subscribe. All right. And so this morning was I'd sent one out yesterday, I think, but this morning I'm trying to get into that habit of getting up in the morning, going to the cafe or whatever, the bar, I'm not drinking though, alcohol or anything. And I went there this morning, took my laptop and typed it up, spent a bit of time doing it actually. So I hope you enjoy that. So I've been out and done that this morning. Then I came home and I've just had a Spanish lesson. You know what I mean? I've got to improve the Spanish, guys. Right? And then while I was doing the Spanish lesson, which lasted for an hour, I obviously turned off my mobile, my alerts on the computer and everything. And the lesson's just finished. Turned it back on. Stacks of messages, alerts and stuff like that, all to do with Dominik's him. Now, I know some of you guys in the comments have been very helpful. Tell me how to pronounce his name, but you're wasting your time. I'm a div, honestly. I've just had that Spanish lesson and I won't remember a thing she's taught. My memory's terrible. All right, so I'm going to call him Dom. All right, and there's been some stuff come out on that front. Okay, so earlier this morning, I think we had Ornstein, or was it Joyce? I can't remember. They're all the fucking same, to be honest with you. Talking about this situation. And we've got new updates now from Ornstein. Even Chris Bascom. Forgot about him. He don't like me, Chris Bascom, He once allegedly made a phone call to me many years ago. But I'm saving that. But he's all right. I don't have a problem with Bascom, to be honest with you. So I don't have a problem with any of them. I just think some of them are shite. So Bascom said... Basically, he said the extent of Liverpool and Newcastle United's interest in him should become clearer on Friday. Today's Friday. With the player's £60 million exit clause expiring. Both Premier League clubs have been, considering the merits of a move, blah, blah, blah. That means if the two clubs attempted to make an official move, it is decision time and they would be wiser to do so sooner rather than later. He knows what he's talking about, does this kid, doesn't he? Right? And the bit that I wanted to focus on was this bit by Bascom that said Liverpool have held talks with his representatives, but have thus far played down the extent of their interest given the overall cost. So the suggestion is that it's going to cost a lot of money, A lot of money to FSG. Right, so what they value it as. Right, so that was... that's Bascom. And then we can go over to The Athletic. David Ornstein, the most recent article by him. Liverpool pushing ahead with Don deal. Liverpool are ready to push ahead with a deal for him. Blah, blah, blah. Newcastle were previously interested, but have now left the way clear for Liverpool in the race. You know what I mean? He doesn't say the race, but that's what they all say, don't they? After the deal initially looked difficult to do following a meeting earlier this week, the dynamic has shifted in the past 24 hours and Liverpool appear to have been given confidence that it is possible. In other words, Liverpool are now willing to fucking pay what's required to make it happen. And the bit that I wanted to mention in here with Ornstein, all right, because I've noticed this keeps coming up all the time, is the word significant investment, significant financial outlay. That word keeps coming up a lot in most recent reports concerning the owners. And when I say recent, I'm talking about the last few days. So what I want you to do is if you see Ornstein putting anything out, or Joyce, right? Maybe even, what's he called? I forgot his name for a minute. James Pearce, right? Even him, right? Bascom even, any of them, right? And then you can drop down the tier and go to the ones that appear on YouTube channels and podcasts everywhere, every minute. Even them ones, right? Look for the word significant in their articles, because I've been looking for it this week and I keep seeing it crop up. And it says here, it talks about him having a £60.1 million release clause in his contract, with there being conflicting reports about its expiry. But regardless, the move will involve a significant financial outlay. So, my opinion, this is just my opinion, right, is that Ornstein and Joyce, right, when people are talking to them, whether it's the owners from Boston side or whether it's people running the club Liverpool side, right, I think, right, that word's been, that word significance been relayed a lot to them, because it's appeared in a lot of their articles. Significant. And politicians do this. Politicians do that. They'll focus on a keyword and get it out there all the time. So I know it sounds like cloak and dagger and do, but I'm telling you, there's a pattern there. I know I'm fucking right. So I don't care if you don't believe me. I know I'm right. DKB, hooray, don't knows best. And there was another one as well, but basically they're all saying the same, really. Let me just open up Twitter. Can I get a ooh? There we go. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, Paul Joyce within the last hour while I was having my Spanish lesson. She's a nice teacher, like as well. I'm just saying, Liverpool now looking to get a deal done. So, but you know what, guys? I still don't know why we were told about this deal a couple of days ago. The potential deal, the interest. I was very suspicious as to why we were reading about that, because usually when a club is chasing a player, they do not want to alert their rivals. And this leak, because it obviously was a leak, came from the top Liverpool FC journalists, the ones that we pay attention to. Although I'm losing a bit of faith with Joyce a little bit, to be honest with you. But we've discussed that. And one of the Cop Talk VIP members said yesterday, why is Cop Talk outing Paul Joyce at the moment, right? And I said, what do you mean by that? What do you mean, And they said, well, you're saying some negatives. I said, no, I'm not. What I'm doing is, for example, yesterday, we looked at, or we examined statements made by Paul Joyce on April the 3rd about Bellingham, Mount, and significant, or words to that effect, funds being made available for the manager. And my question yesterday was, why did Joyce, my question yesterday wasn't, why did Joyce lie to us? No. I would never suggest for 1 minute that Joyce, Ornstein, or any of these journalists would deliberately lie to us. My question was, what changed? Who was telling Joyce that to pass on, or, to not necessarily just to pass on, but someone said those things to Ornstein, and that mood changed, the emphasis changed. So I wasn't outing Paul Joyce. Oh, look, he got something wrong. In fact, I think I said in my video yesterday, things change. Things change all the time. You cannot, really have a go at a journalist all the time. If they say something one minute and it changes the next, they can only go, he's the messenger, that's it. So I wasn't outing Paul Joyce. I was just saying that I've lost a bit of faith in him personally. And there are reasons for that I don't need to go into at the moment, but it's not personal. I'm only talking about the journalists and what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? So at the moment, Paul Joyce, David Ornstein, those are the two journalists that I pay more attention to than anyone. All I'm trying to say is that Joyce has dropped a little bit for me on that level, and I'm starting to think that only Ornstein is the one that I really pay attention to. And it might be that Joyce has done nothing wrong. If you think back, I've always believed that Ornstein is more connected to the ownership and Joyce to the people that run the club on a day-to-day basis. And of course, them things cross over sometimes. So, you know, we've seen changes at Liverpool Football Club. And I put this in my little newsletter that I sent out this morning. You know, that we've got George now. And, you know, Joyce may have been close to Julian Ward. They might have had a good friendship, a good relationship, you know. And if Julian Ward's now left, then a journalist can maybe might lose some sources or might have to restart again. It's not a criticism of Paul Joyce. I've just noticed a little change, a little change. All right. So when you think back in the day, Dave Maddock at the Mirror used to be, in my opinion, one of the best journalists concerning Liverpool Football Club. Today, I don't think he is, and I know why. Back then, he had so much information, you know. But those contacts are no longer at the club. So when things change, the quality and the quantity of the stuff that comes out of the club can change. That's all. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and I did speak about this in that email this morning, and I've spoke about it in my video. So I'm not having a go at Paul Joyce at all. I'm just saying, you know, it's like anything. It's like a football team, right, or a player. You have form, right? So the form can be up here and it can decrease, and sometimes a player might move to another club to further his career. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not having a dig at. I'm not like that. I don't dig at people. Even in the private videos on here, you know, I think there are some journalists out there that, I'm not saying they lie to you. I think they use a lot of intuition and do tap-in stuff. There are two that I can think of that we're seeing a lot of at the moment. And I genuinely do not think that they are any more switched on than anyone that analyses news and uses common sense, people such as you and I. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, it's irrelevant, doesn't matter. So this is what's happening on that front. It sounds like Liverpool are pushing for this. You know, we have the Cop Talk VIP members website, and I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with you. There isn't anything on there that I'm aware of. Fucking cat behind. There's a cat behind. I shit myself. Thought someone would sneak up behind me. Not that I'm paranoid or out. Hey, just because you're paranoid don't mean they won't come and take you away, you know. They won't. Anyway, so there are ongoing updates on the VIP members website, but you know, I do mention, you know, the membership and stuff like that from time to time, and I know some people think, yeah, you're only, well, I'm telling you right now, there's nothing on there that you're not missing out, so I'm not very fucking clever, am I? There's a lot of opinions on there, but I haven't read all that. I'm just reading them. So, yeah, so, you know, I don't think you need to be on there right now because of that. So, there's nobody really, I mean, I've received messages this morning, but they will be, you know, I reckon they're probably, you know, sparked by the journalists saying all this. And in my opinion, the club, the ownership, whatever you want to define it as, they want you to know that this is happening. That's what I think they want you to do. And this is going to sound like the typical FSG out mantra, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen. It was, well, we tried, you know, or these journalists saying, well, they tried everything, but in the end, it was just too much of a financial outlay, or you know, it was just too complicated because that seed was planted initially. You know, why you don't leak your interest in a player you're trying to buy, and it was our, you know, the Liverpool side of things where that came out. So to me, I just find that suspicious. It doesn't mean that we won't sign him. It doesn't mean that our attempt to sign him are not genuine. But like I try to say to you guys all the time, when you see this stuff, the first thing you should think is, why am I reading it? Who wants me to know about it? Who wants me to know that we're interested in this player? Who wants me to know that? You know, so, you know, some Liverpool fans were saying, you say, well, like, that's been leaked so that, you know, to do with Newcastle, it's like, why would Liverpool leak that? You know what I mean? Like, so I genuinely think that Liverpool are interested in signing this player. I do believe that. They're not going to have meetings and sit downs and stuff like that just to fucking, you know, I mean, that is the other extreme of conspiracy theories and stuff. I do believe that, but I definitely believe that they wanted you to know about it, that we are trying our hardest. Which is a thing that we unfortunately often hear each summer. And there was another key point which I've probably forgotten in relation to it all. but it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I alluded yesterday, or I said yesterday, I think I did send this out, I posted this all over wherever. You know, I think the ownership, they monitor everything. They monitor the mood of the fan base. And what I said yesterday was, you know, they do monitor these things. They employ people. They spend money on software and things to monitor what people are saying. And I know it sounds like bizarre, but it doesn't. They actually have. It's been known before. You know, some of you will know that where information's come out. I think this was under the previous owners. You know, the club had like a list of troublemakers, if you like. You know, people that they considered influential and scummy people to do with the club, right? So let's call it content creators. It weren't called that back then, but people associated to fanzines and Liverpool websites. And it had a list of who they were and who the club were keeping an eye on, everything they were doing and fucking saying, right? And the irony is back then that I wasn't on that list. Cop Talk wasn't on that list. Yet all the people, all the people that used to give me an hard time and probably still do, that used to say Cop Talk was the trouble one, you know. I wasn't on that list, but they all were, which made me. It was just such a big deal for me at the time. It was fucking hilarious, but. The FSG, I can assure you, monitor generally, you know, not every little Twitter account, but generally they monitor everything. And the point I was saying yesterday was I'm of the opinion that we will see something a little bit more positive soon, because I think they need to just calm things a little bit. And it wouldn't surprise me if the owners were putting a bit of pressure on the people running the club on a day-to-day basis and were saying, look, can we just speed things up a little bit? You know, just like normal things in any business, you know. You've got customers, we're the customers, yeah? And if your customers are getting restless or, you know, maybe something's affecting your business or PR, which we know they like, then whatever your business, it's like, just, can we do it a little bit faster to keep that cunt happy? And it's like that on a global scale, like collectively with us. I genuinely believe that. So it doesn't come as a surprise to me today that we're reading more positive news, you know. You could argue, well, no, don't. We're reading positive news today because of that contract clause that might expire. True, maybe that's it. Maybe it is purely because of this contract clause. But I'm sticking to it, guys. Whether we sign this kid or not, you know, there's the reporting surrounding this one. I just thought was a little bit strange, and that's it. That's just my opinion, and maybe we'll understand a little bit more about that later. I want to end this video by saying, look, there isn't always a conspiracy theory. There isn't always, you know, we don't have to read into everything, and every time there's always something. On this occasion, I just think that the reporting was a little bit strange, that's all. And we'll see later. Maybe more will come out about why it's so complicated. I don't understand why it's complicated. You pay a transfer release clause, you pay what they want, and you get on with it. And so I'm getting messages coming through. All right then, so we'll have to wait and see what happens, won't we? We'll keep an eye on the usual suspects. What am I going to do now? I'm going to make myself a drink, I think, but it's too hot for a cuppa, I think. It's absolutely boiling here today. Yeah, so I hope the video is not too boring. Thank you to those of you yesterday that supported the video, you know, that clicked the love heart or whatever. One of my videos yesterday. I have added your names to the video description below. Do have a look at the video description. Make sure your name's in there if it should be in there. And I'm going to update the details in the video description to include that list, the URL for the mailing list, right? You know what I mean? So that's it. I'm upbeat, I guess, a little bit today, a little bit more upbeat than I was yesterday. I was a bit fed up yesterday. I know that there's been, you know, some claims put out about restrictions to do with finances. That was what my email was about this morning, actually. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I will do a video. I probably will do a video about that, actually. I'll do it right now just to touch on it because there are some thoughts about it. I have some thoughts about it. But I don't want you guys to have to be subjected to negative videos all the time. You know, sometimes people say, why are you making a negative video? And why are you talking about the owners? You say you don't want to talk about the owners. I can only comment about what's happening, right? So if they put out good news, if there's good news, then fuck me, we'll discuss good news. But at the moment, unfortunately, it's been a bit miserable. But let's hope that changes. This is a very good player. I would like to see this player signed by Liverpool. And we need to stop being accountants. We need to stop managing it, you know, letting them manage our head to go, well, that's a bit expensive. Fuck that attitude, right? In life, you get what you pay for, usually, right? There are exceptions, you know what I'm saying? But just pay the fucking money. Never get ripped off, fine. But pay the money, get him in, and let's see what's what. And I feel like Kevin Keegan. I would love it if... yeah. I don't know about you guys, but just this sudden, the leak of it, you know, it could be difficult. It would be huge financial outlay. Oh, Newcastle have stood aside. Were Newcastle even really in for him? I mean, it's not, Newcastle are in for everybody at the moment, if you read everything. There's something dodgy about the reporting around it all. I will work it out at some point. But for now, let's just enjoy it. Let's see if we sign him. I'm going to make you another video. Please thumbs up the video. Please, what is it? Thumbs up. Please leave a comment. And read the video description because I'm going to update it. All right, guys, I'll speak to you in a bit. Have a great day, please.